And of course, it's time for Tech Base today. A UCT student has built a model, or rather mobile app, to help make the buying and selling of textbooks cheaper and more convenient. Quillo is the name of the app that allows students to trade second-hand textbooks. To discuss this further, I'm joined by on Skype by Quillo founder Tamir Shklaz in Cape Town. A very, very good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening to you and your viewers. I'm very excited to be here.
So let's just first start with the invention itself. What inspired you?
So it started off just in my first year physics class. I think it was an experience I had, as well as many of my fellow students, when we were told the list of textbooks that we required for the courses. And one of my physics textbooks costed around 1,300 Rand, which is just unaffordable for many students in South Africa. And the knee-jerk reaction to that is, okay, where can I get it cheaper? Secondhand. So you find secondhand textbooks on notice boards and whatnot, but it's just an absolute mess. You find adverts for cars, textbooks, work, etc. And to sort through that mess to finally find the textbook you're looking for is just incredibly difficult and tedious. And I thought that this problem could easily be solved with just some sort of technology. It's just time to get for the 21st century.
So Tamir, I'm curious about this. They say a lot of people, especially young people on the continent, know what the problems are, but they don't know how to resolve them. So how was the process for you coming up with the solution?
So I think I was lucky to have a background where I was exposed to computers, and was lucky enough to go to a high school where I was able to learn how to code. And I think that was really the tool that enabled me to build and to understand that there was a solution for this problem. So really, it almost initially started off as a coding project. I wanted to learn how to build something, and this particular problem was at the forefront of my mind. And it's that enabled me to build it and go through the process. And I would say that similar way of thinking is what would really empower a lot of people across Africa to create solutions similar.
Mm-hmm. So you've made some improvements. You went from WhatsApp notice board to this, what we call Quillo version 2.0. What changes have you made?
So in the most recent change, we've done quite a lot of things. From delivery, you could get your textbook delivered to your door within 2 hours if the seller's within the same city as you. Otherwise, it could take a day if the textbook's getting delivered from Joburg to Cape Town. As well, we've integrated our own payment system where we hold on to the money until both the buyer and the seller are happy, so we can ensure that both parties are always happy. And as well, just a really polished user experience. There's still a lot of things we need to improve, and there's a lot of things we've learned from this. But it's been a really successful start to the year for us.
Tell me a little bit more about your market size. How many downloads have you had, and is it offered in different languages as well?
So it's not currently offered in different languages, but that's definitely something I'd like to introduce. In terms of our current market size, we're currently serving around 14,000 students across South Africa, predominantly in the Western Cape and at UCT, where it started. And we have roughly over 4,000 textbooks currently listed on the platform. Mm-hmm. So we've definitely seen quite a lot of growth, but definitely have very big plans for it in the future.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about access to revenue. So you approached the UCT Graduate School of Business. How simple or difficult was that process? And I mean, obviously you also need money to make money.
Yes, but funnily enough, in this case, this isn't a very capital-intensive business. We don't need a lot of money to run this. And I think that's what the beauty of tech startups are, that you need one or two crazy people that can work 10 hours a day in front of their computer to build a website, and then it's there, it works. You don't necessarily need people to run it all the time. I don't need a warehouse to store the books. So it is a relatively cheap operation. And I think that's the beauty of tech startups. So that's to answer the first part of the question in terms of needing money to make money. In terms of approaching the Graduate School of Business, It was just a competition. I wasn't even expecting for it to go into anything. It was just a pitching competition where they asked different companies, come and show us what you're working with. I went there not even thinking I was going to get in, pitched to a panel of judges, and they loved the idea, they loved the energy, and I've just been working with them ever since.
As you say, the beauty of tech startups, I'm wondering, was there ever a challenge in terms of connectivity? The people who actually needed the textbooks, did they have internet?
Yes. Well, I suppose I wouldn't know the answer to that because the people who perhaps haven't been able to reach, they wouldn't even be able to let me know because I haven't been able to reach them. But I do think or rather, I don't think that there's an issue with connectivity. I think the statistic is something like there's 2 phones for every South African. And internet is very widespread. Of course, data is very expensive. But I do believe that connectivity is very widespread, and I don't think that's been an issue we've experienced. And
advertising, have you managed to net a sizable bit of that?
That's not really the way in which we want to do it. I find adverts on a lot of the websites either that ruin the experience entirely and just detract from it. So what I would rather do is build something that just truly adds value to people, and hopefully be able to create a business from that. Especially as we look into expand into other markets. Because Quillo, really, for me, is what this has developed into, is starting to realize that there's a lot more problems that students in South Africa and the world experience. So I would love to use the success I've had with textbooks kind of as a springboard to further businesses and solutions that serve a wider student need.
Tamir, thank you so much for chatting to us. Tamir Shklaz is the founder of Quillo.